My name is Janne Näsström and I live in Sweden. This is my first podcast on YouTube. Hopefully you can understand my bad English. In the United States of today, I could be arrested for that. I'm a retired economist and live in a village in southern Sweden, close to Vimmerby, where Astrid Lindgren grew up. She was a world-famous author of children's books, with Pippi Longstocking as one of her characters. But now I'm going to talk about two other storytellers in the United States, President Donald Trump and Senator Bernie Sanders. Both have opinions about Sweden. Both are wrong. Let's start with Bernie Sanders. According to him, Sweden is a socialist country. No, we have a conservative government and are a normal country in Europe with a tax-financed welfare system. It works so well that not even the far-right parties, which the US now support, wants to change it. On to Donald Trump. According to him, Sweden used to be a safe country, but is no longer so due to a large immigration. The truth is that immigration is far less in our country than in the US. From 1975 to today, Sweden's population has increased from 8.2 million to 10.5 million by 22%. During the same period, the US went from 216 to 345 million by 60%. In both cases, a big part of the explanation is immigration. It is true that deadly violence has increased in Sweden, but the increase is marginal. In the 1960s, we had 0.9 murders per 100,000 inhabitants. 2024 was a record year with 1.15 murders per 100,000 inhabitants, more than other countries in Europe. In the US, the corresponding figure is between 6 and 7, with Louisiana as the worst example, with 14.5 murders per 100,000 inhabitants. What has happened is that we have followed the USA. First, the Hells Angels and their rival Bandidos established themselves. Both came from the USA. Then came the school shootings. When I was young, it was something we saw on television from the USA. The latest import is American gang crime, complete with marketing in form of gangster rap. The gangs consist of second and third generation immigrants and a growing proportion of Swedes. If I'm not misinformed, Trump is a second generation immigrant on his mother's side and third generation on his father's. The gang criminals kills each other. If you don't have contact with criminal environments, Sweden is safer today than it was in the 1960s. And as I said, I'm an economist and there are some misconceptions that are worth clarifying. It is true that Sweden has a free healthcare, free education, subsidized childcare, 5 weeks vacation by law, compensation if you get sick or are at home with children. It is paid through taxes, which are much higher than in the United States. But to get the same security in the United States, insurance and savings are required. If we add that to the taxes, the cost is about the same in Sweden and in the United States. In fact, some services are cheaper in Sweden. Healthcare in Sweden costs 11% of GDP and covers all citizens. The cost in the United States is 17% of GDP, despite the fact that millions of people lack insurance. The Swedish example sounds like a recipe for bankruptcy. The truth is the opposite. The United States had a national debt of 120% of GDP and a minimal federal savings. The national debt is 19% of GDP. If we add in municipalities and regions which run healthcare, the debts become 34%. In addition, Sweden has large public savings, including state funds to bridge difference between generations. If these are included, we have no national debt. On the contrary, a surplus. Bernie Sanders is right when he says that Sweden and Europe have a better system for the majority of the population. But that is not socialism. It is common sense. Thank you for listening, and please share if you think what I'm saying is important.